With my written testimony, I included a letter to Congress outlining general law enforcement concerns with the Gang of Eight bill on immigration reform. In this letter, the ICE union is joined by the union representing U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Both unions represent approximately 20,000 federal employees handling the bulk of interior immigration enforcement. Additionally, 113 sheriffs nationwide are represented on the letter, as well as the National Association of Former Border Patrol Officers. Individuals and groups continue to sign the letter to express their concern that Senate Bill 744 fails on matters of public safety, border security, and overall enforcement. I sincerely hope that members of the House will, unlike the Gang of Eight, include law enforcement in the development of future legislation. On April 18, 2013, I attended a Gang of Eight press conference. The room was filled with supporters. There was a lot of joking, a lot of laughing. There was a lot of talk about what a great humanitarian effort this bill represents. I remember thinking how, at that very moment, ICE agents on our southern border were being overwhelmed by a dramatic increase in illegal aliens crossing the border, most claiming to have entered based on rumors of the new Gang of Eight amnesty. Thousands of these aliens being unaccompanied children, runaways, making the treacherous trip across the border by themselves. Crossings by illegal aliens seeking amnesty will likely continue for years. Many may die or be victimized. ICE is already offering transfers to permanently move more officers to the border. There is a reason why many in law enforcement have repeatedly said, let's slow this down. Let's take the time to do this right, starting by putting enforcement mechanisms in place that will deter illegal entry and stop tragedies like this from happening. Enforcement is not a dirty word. Enforcement saves lives. Our union has been telling America and Congress that ICE and DHS officials are ignoring public safety, the agency's law enforcement mission, and the laws enacted by Congress, carrying out their own personal political agendas. I hope that the targeting of conservative groups by the IRS, as well as other scandals recently in the media to include ICE and DHS lies uncovered last week regarding hundreds of criminals and convicted felons that ICE recently released into U.S. communities without warning, will lend credence to what we have been saying for years. There is no oversight of political appointees and other high-ranking managers within federal agencies. The heads of DHS and ICE have overridden Congress and determined that certain laws will not be enforced. They came to this conclusion shortly before our nation's last presidential election. Employees reported that managers at ICE headquarters told employees that amnesty-related policies had to be implemented in advance of the election. Policies implemented by ICE and DHS managers have become so contrary to law and public safety that ICE agents have been forced to file a lawsuit against the heads of both ICE and DHS. According to Ken Palinkas, union president of employees and employee of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, high-ranking managers within USCIS have implemented similar policies. USCIS employees are being pressured to approve all applications, even when red flags are present. Proper investigation of applications is not being done. USCIS employees are discouraged by managers from denying applications. Palinkas says USCIS has become an approval machine, that officers are discouraged from placing illegal aliens into immigration proceedings and discouraged from contacting ICE agents in cases that should have ICE's involvement. In closing, as law enforcement officers, we have never taken a position on matters such as the numbers or types of visas to be issued or a path to citizenship. We simply seek to assist in creating laws that can and will be enforced and that provide for public safety. In our opinion, the single most significant task that Congress must complete in any immigration reform legislation is at every opportunity to take away or limit the authority and discretion of political appointees and presidents so that the laws enacted by Congress will be followed and enforced.